Are you doing a fall garden this year? Because I am. I most definitely am. This is my third year gardening, vegetable gardening, and I haven't really focused on doing a fall garden in the past. I've grown a few things like kale, spinach, and pumpkins with varying success. But this year I want to really focus on having just a good fall garden, a full, complete fall garden. So that's what I'm doing. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what I have started this week, what I plan on starting, and sort of my general plan for my fall garden. So if that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. Let's get into it. Beans, beets, and carrots. I tried carrots and beets with mixed results so far this year. Well, the carrots basically failed. The beets, I got a couple, but they were pretty small. I haven't done bush beans yet. So these are gonna be for the fall. I had a huge bag of them and I need to use them. So yeah, I'm growing some beans. The carrots are short, now it's half length or something, half long carrots. So they should be good. And beets. I'm growing these in containers, 10-gallon containers, just because I can have more control. I can make sure they're in full sun and I can give them the best possible chance. And they're close to the faucet and the hose, so I can make sure that they're watered regularly and I get the best possible crop because as I mentioned, the beets and the carrots failed in the spring garden. So yeah, high hopes for these. In that section, also in a raised bed, I'm growing some spinach, just because I want to, basically. That's what I'm doing. Yep. Lettuce, kohlrabi, and turnip. I grew kohlrabi for the first time this year and absolutely loved it. It's my new favorite. I keep seeing everywhere on all the vegetable channels and articles and stuff that I read that once you start growing kohlrabi, you'll realize that you have to grow it. It's so good. This variety is a purple Vienna. So hopefully I have enough time for that. I can't wait. Very excited. The last ones I grew were green, and I really am excited for the purple color. I think that's going to be beautiful. Sticking with the purple, I'm growing purple top turnip. I love root vegetables. I love stews in the fall and the winter. So it would be really nice if I could be successful in growing a bunch of turnips for those, and carrots, obviously. And then finally, we have Jericho lettuce. It is heat tolerant, supposedly delicious, perfect for this time of year. So I hopefully will have lots of success with this. And given the news recently, I'm very happy to be growing my own lettuce and whatnot. Oh yeah, I'm also growing a cabbage. I'm growing Jersey Wakefield cabbage. It's a small sort of triangular shaped cabbage, supposedly delicious. I cannot wait for that. I'm starting all those from seeds in seed cell trays, outdoors, kind of watering them regularly, watching them, babying them, making sure it doesn't get too hot for them, kind of putting them in the shade if it does, but they should be okay, germinate out there, and then I'll be able to transplant them into my garden. I wanted to add that it's not recommended to start turnip in cell trays because they don't like their roots disturbed, but I just really don't have confidence that if I put those seeds in the ground that they're not going to get eaten by something. And I would just rather have just that little bit more control over them. As soon as they have like two true leaves, they're going to be going straight into their forever home. I don't want to put the seeds directly down there. I just really don't trust that they're going to do okay if I do it that way. So this is how I'm doing it, but it's not recommended. I just wanted to share. Up to recently this year with, so that in a really weird word. Up until recently this year with cucumbers, I was doing so good. I was growing a straight 8 variety of cucumbers, and I'm also growing a parthenocarpic variety of cucumbers called unagi. I have my straight 8 cucumbers, and I think I might have had an unagi one there as well, growing down in my main garden in my raised bed, trellised up, sort of a flimsy trellis. They filled up that trellis. It was beautiful. They were producing. They were putting on more and more weight. I was taking off fruit here and there, having delicious cucumbers in my salads. Wonderful. Until a few nights ago, I woke up and saw that the entire thing had collapsed. The whole trellis had broken. The metal inside of it's kind of in plastic, had all rusted, I guess. I don't know. It was a piece of crap, basically, and it broke. So everything was on the ground. Some of the vines broke. And I just decided it's time to cut my losses with them. I probably could have left it on the floor and let it sort of slowly wither away and maybe got a few more cucumbers out of it, but I didn't want that. It would just have been such an eyesore, and I didn't like it. So I decided to rip it out and put in some cucumbers that I had already started from seed, ready to go. So they're in there now, which I guess is kind of good because I don't know where I would have put them otherwise. So that's where they're going. I have half of that trellis left that I'm going to trellis them over because I'm not buying anything else this year. I've spent more than enough in this garden. So they're going to trellis up that, and hopefully that'll be all good. When that fell over, I also cleared out other things in that bed. It had really gotten overrun with nasturtiums. There were a couple of pepper plants in there that weren't doing well and just taking up space, so I pulled those out. So I'm thinking I'll put in my some of my cabbages, some of my lettuce, kohlrabi in there because I'm gonna kind of short in space right now. So I'll use that up. So all that to say, this past week I transplanted some cucumbers as well that I'm very excited about, and those are all unagi. Those are not straight 8, but given how well straight 8 did, because they did outperform the unagi so far, I think next year I'll still do a mix, because with the unagi, they're parthenocarpic, so you can keep them covered, more protected. But the straight 8 is super productive. So I don't know. If you follow that, basically, I don't know what I'm doing, but we're figuring it out. Last year's squash harvest was pitiful. I got maybe 3 squash in total. I got like a zucchini, a winter squash, and a pumpkin. Just one of each. It was absolutely awful. And there were multiple reasons for that. 1, the pest pressure was really high. 2, I was mainly focused on tomatoes. And 3, I grew too little of each variety that I was growing. Most of the squash that I grew needed pollination. And I had learned at this point on year 3 that with squash, one plant isn't going to get enough pollination from the male flowers to the female flowers in and of itself. You have to have multiple plants. I would say at least 2, but as many as you can. This year I made kind of a similar mistake with just growing a couple of summer squash and a couple of winter squash. But with pumpkins, I'm not making that mistake. I have sown a bunch of pumpkin seeds. I have some that are sort of at full maturity, producing pumpkin fruit, and I have some that I just transplanted this past week, which are, I can't remember the exact variety, but they're like a small, sweet little pumpkin. So they have enough time to be ready for harvest, probably by around Thanksgiving. So that's what I did. I planted a ton of pumpkins. So hopefully I will have a ton of pumpkins in my harvest later this year. I'm very, very excited for it. So excited for homemade pumpkin pie. And finally, I am starting some flowers. I'm putting down some more calendula. Aren't those beautiful? I just think they will be so pretty in the fall. So I'm just kind of putting these everywhere, out front, out back. I am going to start some of them in cell trays to have more control. I didn't do that in the spring, and I wish I had, because I have very, very few calendula marigolds right now. But I'm gonna have a lot in the fall. And then I'm going to start some Sweet William for my garden up front, my little sort of cottage garden. It smells amazing. It's a biennial, but it self-seeds readily. It doesn't flower on the first year, so I will sow it in the next week or so, and then hopefully it'll grow into a little tuft, and then next year it will actually produce flowers and hopefully smell beautiful. But the flowers themselves they're so pretty. Very excited for that. Yeah, so that's what I have sowed, what I plan on sowing over this weekend, and that's where I'm at. Let me know where you are at with your garden, if you have plans for a fall garden, or if you're kind of wrapping up, do you have any tomatoes yet? Because I still just have green little balls. They haven't ripened. Well, my cherry tomatoes have ripened, but my heirloom, my like large tomatoes, I'm way behind, and there's lots of reasons for that. I think I'll make a video on that because I think there are things that I could learn that I might be able to share with you guys to help you out with your tomatoes as well. Yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Peace.